Is Anthropic listening? Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Jordan Hardison, CEO of AIO.urch. I am back. We're in a new studio. I'm excited. Thank you for jumping in. Real quick, before we get started, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share it. I want to talk about AI today. There's a few things I'm going to talk about. The first thing I'm going to talk about is what's going on with Anthropic with Opus 4.8. I'm going to talk a little bit about GPT 5.6 that's coming and a little bit more about what's going on in the LLM world. And then I want to talk to you about what I think about what is going on with AI and coding in general right now. And then I'm going to close the video out by talking about the best way I think there is right now for you to code, whether it's with Codex or Claude Code. I believe this is the best way to do it. So let's jump in with Opus 4.8. Wow. I'll tell you what, I did a video about it. Opus 4.7 sucked. It was terrible. And to be honest with you, I was really disappointed because I use Anthropic for everything. I have been using Claude Code. I started with Windsurf, moved to Claude Code quite a while ago. Love Claude Code, love what's going on with Claude Code, and 4.6 was great. I loved 4.6, and like everyone else, I was super excited for 4.7 to come, and 4.7 drops, and it was just terrible. I mean, it was terrible. It was so bad to the point that I, like many other people, begrudgingly moved to Codex. And what I found when I moved to Codex is that Codex with GPT 5.5 is an amazing product. It is so awesome. And so I started using Codex. Now, I'll be honest with you, while I was using Codex, about 80% of my workflow became Codex. However, there was still that 20% that I feel like Claude kind of beat, even with 4.7. And I feel like Claude it does a better job with the original construction of what I'm trying to accomplish. So understanding what I'm saying from a prompting standpoint and creating it, I feel like Opus does a better job with, but Codex 5.5 comes in all day long and just kills it. I mean, it does an amazing job, especially once the directory is already started, once the project's already started. Opus 4.7 would get it started, and then Codex with GPT 5.5 would come in, it would clean it up, it would make things work, and it was great. But then Anthropic dropped Opus 4.8, and I was surprised when this happened because I'm paying attention to what's going on with AI, what's going on in the news, but I feel like they just secretly dropped this model without really telling anybody that it was coming. I mean, we got a little bit of leaks, we heard some information, but I was thinking that was going to be pretty far out. And then they dropped Opus 4.8, and I immediately jumped on it. I mean, the moment it became available, I jumped on it, and it was incredible. I mean, noticeably different. And today, I'm not even going to bring up the benchmarks. You can Google the benchmarks. You can see they're changing anyway. There's all kinds of new benchmarks. You can go look at that. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. How does it do with an actual real world coding project like what we've got going on with AIO.urch? I can tell you Opus 4.8 is absolutely amazing. It is amazing. It is the best LLM I've ever used for coding. And I still use Codex 5.5 a little bit, again, to go in, polish things up, maybe do some UI changes, but it has more to do with rate limits than it has to do with anything else. One thing I will say about Codex with GPT 5.5 is it's almost impossible to hit the limit. So I have two Claude 20x accounts, the max 20x accounts that I use, and using those back to back, I run out of tokens after about 3 hours. So what that looks like is that's 6 different chats going at the same time. With Opus 4.8, it works for about an hour and a half. I have to switch to my other account, and then I continue for about an hour and a half, and then I'm locked out for the next 2. In the meantime, I jump over to Codex and I let Codex do some cleaning up work, and still Codex is incredible with what it can do, but it does not beat Opus 4.8. One of the things I really love about Opus 4.8 is it is honest, and maybe even a little bit too honest, but I appreciate the fact that I tell it to do something and it comes back and it says, hey, I did half of what you asked me to do, but the other half isn't done yet. And at least it's telling me that, so I know what's actually done and what's not done without going in and having to test everything and check every single line of code. So it does a lot better when it comes to honesty, and I think that is a big deal. It is such a big deal that I've had Opus 4.8 go in and touch every single file of my code since it's come out just to audit it to see what's going on, and it's able to actually get through barriers that we were having a hard time getting through before. So I can tell you firsthand experience, Opus 4.8 is absolutely incredible. I highly recommend it. Use it. It's amazing. And it really gets me thinking into how much better Mythos is actually going to be. Because the leaks are that Anthropic is saying that they are getting ready to release Mythos to the public. So I am excited to use Mythos. I can tell you I will be one of the first users of Mythos as soon as it's available. Even if it costs a lot more, I'm going to be using it. I'm going to check it out. I want to see what it can do for my project. So really excited to see what's going to go on with Mythos. And I'm also excited to see what's going on with GPT 5.6. It's leaking right now. There's a lot of information about it. My question is GPT 5.6 a Mythos competitor, or is it an Opus 4.8 competitor? My guess is that it is going to be an Opus 4.8 competitor. I don't think it's going to reach up to what Mythos is capable of doing, but we're just going to have to see when that comes out. I mean, there is so much going on in the way of AI right now and the development and how it's expanding right now. It's completely incredible. But I will tell you that Anthropic is back in the game. And I think that I was also completely surprised by the partnership between Anthropic and SpaceX. And I am excited. I've said this from video number 1. I believe that Grok through SpaceX is set up to be the most powerful LLM in the world. I think that they are going to take it. I think they're bringing AI to space, which is the best way to do it. I am actually curious to see how much more intertwined is SpaceX going to be with Anthropic. That's something I want to see. How is that going to develop in the future? I'm really keeping an eye on that. I want to know what you think about that. So if you think that there's potential for even further partnership between Anthropic and SpaceX, drop it in the comments. Let me know what you think. I want to talk about that because I think that can make a huge difference. So other things in the news over the last few weeks, DeepSeek V4 came out. That was a little while ago now. I will tell you, I am incredibly impressed by DeepSeek. In fact, I'm so impressed by DeepSeek V4 that it has become the #1 model driver for our products. And when I say that, I don't just mean like we're obviously using Opus 4.8, we're using GPT 5.5 for the development of the product, but for the day-to-day actual usefulness, that DeepSeek V4 Flash is absolutely incredible. And the fact that they came out with V4 Pro, discounted it, and then kept the discount permanent is absolutely insane. It is incredible. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen, and all of the development that's going on in China right now with AI is just incredible. And I think, if you think about, we're in this race of, to the top when it comes to AI between the United States and China. And the United States steps in and they says, okay, we're going to limit the hardware that you have access to try to slow your growth. And I think that may have been a mistake. And I think the reason why it's maybe a mistake is because China has now had to pivot to create more efficient AI tools that are still incredibly powerful, that are not running on the greatest hardware that you can possibly get. And I think that actually gives them a little bit of an advantage because you get a model like DeepSeek V4 Flash, like DeepSeek V4 Pro that comes out. It's not running on the best hardware, but it is an incredible model, and it is an open model, which I think is absolutely crazy. As you probably know, Minimax M3 just dropped. I'm excited about it. I haven't tested it very much, but my initial reaction to it though, I think it's a little bit overpriced. And I know that it's crazy to say that because to look at what Minimax M3 is capable of doing and to say that that is overpriced, obviously it's not overpriced compared to Opus. It's not overpriced compared to anything else like that. But I'm looking at it like as a professional or enterprise grade AI or whatever it is that I'm looking at. What is Minimax M3 going to do for me that DeepSeek V4 can't? Is it really worth all of the extra expense? To me, right now, the answer is no. But again, you might have a different experience. I want to know what you think. Put it in the comments. Let me know. Have you tried Minimax M3? Should I try it? I'm going to try it, but am I sleeping on this? Is this a big deal? Let me know. I want to look at it and I want to talk about it. So again, hey, thanks for jumping into the video. I'm going to continue here in the next segment looking at vibe coding, right? Vibe coding. I'm going to be real with you. I hate the term vibe coding. I can't stand it, right? I'm in all these vibe coding groups. I'm in Vibe Coding is Life and Vibe Coding, all these different groups on Facebook and different forums. And just, I don't like the term vibe coding. And the reason why is because AI is such an incredibly powerful tool for enterprise grade coding. I mean, we were working on a product for years. I mean, recently, this product we've been working on for about 6 years, and we had an entire full stack development team. We had 10 different developers that were working on this product every single day. And the thing about it is we are able to do so much more now with AI than we could even last year. And this is very different than the people who are sitting down as a hobby and they just have an idea for an app, they throw it together, they send it, they one-shot it, AI does it, it's incredible. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking those people. Like if you are one of those people and I think the fact that AI is so accessible and that you can have an idea, sit down, write it up, and it can write it for you is absolutely amazing. I'm not downing that at all. But that is totally different than using AI as an enterprise-grade tool to write enterprise-grade code. That's the problem I have with the concept of vibe coding, right? Because it's not the word vibe coding that I have a problem with. It's this concept that like any project that's built with AI suddenly becomes AI slop. And that is just totally not true. Like completely not true. There's so many incredible products that are out there. There's so many things that we can do now that we could not do before because of AI. And I feel like the term vibe coding is becoming a trend that's downgrading the value of what we actually have with the AI. And I think that there's an intermingling of professionals that are using AI to build professional products and then hobbyists that are coming up with really cool ideas and getting it down. I think both are good, but I think it's important not to downgrade the value of a product just because AI has touched it. And that's when it comes to vibe coding, right? The other crazy trend that I see happening right now that is very interesting to me, and this, like I was thinking about this 6 years ago when we first started this project with AIO.urch, and that is the concept of the everything app, right? The everything app. And it used to be in development, we ran into this all the time, is like, you know, we have an idea and then you get scope creep where you start working on it and then you have another idea and then you start working on it. And now with AI, it's like you don't even have the idea. You just have an idea. And then the AI is like, oh, yeah, no, maybe it'll be a good idea if we add this. That would be cool. Let me do that for you too. And then the AI decides to do another thing. And it's just, the project is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's not focused on what it was originally planned to be. And so in the old days of development, it was really important that you didn't get into scope creep and that you focused on one specific task and you refine the software for that. The crazy thing about what I see shifting with AI right now is that is almost an old concept. Like the real race right now is more than just a powerful LLM. I think the real race right now is the everything app. And what I mean by that is who is going to create the application that can do everything, right? Who's going to get there first? And this is contrary to the normal thought process from professional developers of focus on a particular task, focus on a particular feature, but instead it's how can I build an app that will literally do everything? Why is this such a big deal right now? There's a couple reasons why I think it's a big deal. Elon Musk is really big on this with X. Like his whole concept of X is he wants X to be the everything app. It's not just a social media platform. It's not just a community talking space, but it's also payments. It's also chat. It's also AI. It's also all of these different things. And there's a lot of good reason for that. One of the reasons for that is that when you start introducing AI, it's important for the AI to have context of what it is that you're trying to get it to do. And the best way for it to have context of what you want it to do is for it to learn everything about you and for you to interact with it as much as absolutely possible. And so when you build an application where everybody is spending all of their time on that application, whether they're shopping for groceries, whether they're making payments, whether they're sending messages, making phone calls, playing games, whatever they're doing, the more time they spend on that application, the more the LLM can learn about them in the context of their life, the more helpful the AI can be. So when we step into a world where AI applications is what it's all about, I believe there is going to be more and more and more focus on building the everything app, which is completely different than what we had used to do when we were focusing on what did it take to develop a good product. Now, the other thing about the everything app and the trajectory that you can see it going is this term AGI. And a lot of people define AGI in a lot of different ways. One of the concepts is that AI can do everything that a human can do. And the reality is that the everything app is pointing in the direction of AGI, right? So if you want an AI assistant that can act like a human and can do anything that a human can do, that is like an AGI system. And you accomplish that by building an application that can handle all of those different angles also known as the Everything app. So that's kind of my idea. That's what I think. That's where I think AI is going. I want to know what you think about it. If you are a professional developer, I want to know what you think about this, because you'll know what I'm talking about when the idea is, man, you have a client, they want you to do something, and then all of a sudden they have another idea, and it just creeps and creeps and creeps, and you have a never-ending product that never gets done. I think that's changing. I think that now it's becoming more important to focus on the concept of the Everything app. And that is really what we did with AIO.urch. That's what we started 6 years ago. The idea was to build an application that would provide as much content and information to an LLM as possible so that the AI could be as helpful and proactive as possible for you. And the way to do that is to get the person using the application for every single function that they do within the organization. So, for example, if you're in a church organization, all of your scheduling, all of your planning, all of your communications, all of your live streaming, all of your productivity, your task management, your posting on social media, all of the aspects of that ministry you want in one application so that you can feed natively, not through an MCP, not through integration, but feed natively into the context of the AI so that it can be proactive and so that it can help you. Same thing for a business. So if you are running a business, if you can get that entire business running on an operating system that is AI native from the very beginning, and every single thing you do electronically in that business runs through that operating system, it gives the context to the AI. The AI is able to be more proactive and helpful for you. And that is exactly what we have built with AIO.urch and AIO.corp, which is our corporate variation of this operating system that we have created. Now, there's another piece of the system which I believe is a little bit more like the personal assistant, and I want to close out the video by talking about that for just a moment, because what was happening is we were building this AIO platform, and while we were doing that, Windsurf was not cutting it. We switched to Claude Code. We're using Codex. These different harnesses are absolutely incredible, but they are too laser focused. They were not able to handle the development process from beginning to end, and it wasn't able to do it fast enough. And so what we did is we pivoted to actually creating our own IDE, which is an AI native IDE called AIO Assist. And we built that internally within our company in order for us to continue to develop our enterprise grade software. And as we built out that internal tool, it actually became so capable that now we are bringing that out to the public, we are bringing it to market, and we are providing it to you. I think right now, this is the best way to code with AI. And I say that because this is exactly how we do it every single day. Every single day we come into the office and we code our own products, and we also code other enterprise grade systems directly from AIO Assist. A couple of the things that are unique about AIO Assist as an IDE is, number one, it is built AI first. So it is not a fork of VS Code. It is built natively for AI, but it is built to wrap and to use the Claude Code harness as well as the Codex CLI harness. And so what's nice about this is that you do not have to use our coding agent in AIO Assist. You can actually use Claude Code in AIO Assist. You can use Codex in AIO Assist, or you can use Ray, Redefine AI, our coding variant of the AI agent that we have built within the platform. We think it's incredible. We've offered pretty awesome rate limits for our own AI agent to be able to go in and to be able to code with near Opus capabilities built into it. But the thing about AIO Assist is it's more than just an IDE. So if you look at something like Cursor, which is an incredible tool, it sets the standard. This is a product that is more capable than what Cursor is offering from an end-to-end development platform. So right here we have our command center, where this is where you're managing all that the AI is doing, and it's moving its tasks across the command center right here. And you have an orchestrator that's telling these worker threads what to do. They're not separate agents. It's part of the same agent structure, and you can build skills and set those skills on top of those conversations, which make those conversations hyper-focused on a particular part of your project. But what's super cool about this platform is you have that command center, you have your productivity automation with Heartbeat, just like OpenClaw, just like Hermes Agent. This is a more powerful platform than Hermes currently. You can go in, you can set up automations, you can let it work on its own, you can have it do tasks for you on its own. We do have a workspace built into it where you can go in, you can navigate your files, you can actually show, it's going to render your HTMLs, it's going to show you videos, photos, everything here on the canvas. Then we have our built-in browser in the system. So with the browser, you can go in, you can annotate in the browser, give it to your Orchestrator. Orchestrator will go in, look at those annotations, make the changes for you automatically. We built meetings directly into AIO Assist so that you can, real world conversation here. We actually took a meeting with one of our clients using our meetings platform. From that meeting, the AI, it transcribes the entire meeting. It knows what you're saying. It knows what your guest is saying. And then it can take that transcription, immediately dump it into the Orchestrator, and then just build the project. So we can meet with our clients, find out what they want changed about their projects, and then the AI can actually go in and make the changes, oftentimes before the meeting is even over. So we built that meeting process in so that you can speed up that development process. We also built the system called Collab. Collab is an awesome system where we can turn it on, we can have conversations with the AI, and it's just gonna listen to what we're saying. We can be in brainstorming sessions. I could be recording this video, it could take that video and it can use that, because not only is it using these harnesses like Codex, like Claude Code, and then like our own agentic system, which is Ray, it's actually learning proactively about us, and it's injecting that into its system prompt on top of what Claude Code is already doing. So as we're just talking in normal conversation, it's learning more about me. It's learning how I develop. It's learning the different tools that I use, the different resources that I use, the different stacks that I use. It's learning all of that about me, and it's putting that into its profile for me so that as it codes for me, it's learning what I do and what I don't do and what I don't like. So that's built into it. Part of Collab also is that you can go in and you can screenshot and point to certain things. It's going to follow that, and then it can create a document. So like a how-to, or just another way for you to better teach someone else or the AI what you want it to do. And then the last step of what we have here is we have the dev suite. So this is the development side of what it is. It started here and then advanced more onto more like a OpenClaw Hermes style system. But with this is our dev suite. It starts with planning. We can go in, we can select different projects here. We can go into planning. From here, this is where we can set goals. Goals have steps. All of our architectural documentation goes into planning. This is our code side of it, where just like you're familiar with VS Code, we can go in, we can edit the code manually from here. It can manage all of our databases within our system, so you don't need a separate database management tool. You can go in, you can look at the tables directly from there. It's got a deploy platform, so you don't have to use GitHub for deploy. It uses your own onboard computing power for your build so that you can build and deploy way faster and deploy to your servers. We also have direct-to-server integration with AWS as well as DigitalOcean, so you can manage all of your DigitalOcean droplets right here within AIO Assist. We do have our environment set up, so this is where our secret vaults are, where we can go in and we can put all those secrets in so that when you're deploying, it will replace your env on your actual server for you. Of course, you have Git management, and then we have our new module security, where we can go in and it does security audits to make sure that the code is buttoned up and safe. And so again, this is AIO Assist. Right now, you can get AIO Assist starting for $20 a month. That includes the AI usage for Ray. So what you can do is, if you have a Claude Code account, which I highly recommend, we've got 2 of them. I personally have 2 of them right now. And I also have a Codex account, 2 Codex accounts as well. You can go in, you can sign up for Claude Code, download the CLI, you can sign up for Codex, download the CLI, and then you download AIO Assist for $20 a month, which is way, way worth the value that is added on top of Claude Code and on top of Codex. You can go in, you can use Claude Code directly in the platform, or for the same $20 a month, you don't have to use Claude Code, you don't have to use Codex, you can use Ray directly. So go in, check it out. There's a free trial. You can go to AIOassist.ai, www.AIOassist.ai. Check it out. I would love to know what you think. We're dropping updates every single day. Go in and check it out. Hey, my name is Jordan. Thank you so much for jumping in. If you like the content on this channel, click the like button, share it, subscribe to the channel. There's going to be more content coming soon. We're going to deep dive into here, and then we're also going to deep dive into this AIO ecosystem, this operating system that we have created for businesses and for churches. We're going to dive that into a later video. Check out the next video. We'll see you next time.